So I got this patient, right? And he's got one of these shoulders, and it's a shoulder that won't do something we call abduction, and that's to abduct, to take away from the body, for instance. And it's easy to think that because the shoulder won't abduct, it's entirely the shoulder joint's problem. It's very easy just to go blaming the shoulder. In fact, the shoulder gets blamed for a lot of stuff, and we don't want to do that. So it's not doing that. And that's something, but it's not everything. It doesn't mean it's only this guy. There's this whole scapula going on here. Now, funny thing was, the ribs on the one side, ribs, 3 and 4 at the very least, were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be going up and they're supposed to be going down, but these ones were just forward and down, which was stuck, to say the least. Now, with that, because of that, we had a pec minor muscle coracoid process to ribs 3, 4, 5, but 3 and 4 in this case being the important ones. It had been in spasm. It was actively contracting, which means something was definitely going on more than just the shoulder. The angle of pull in this particular case, because of the fact that the pec minor is angled this way, it means the scapula is being held relatively down if we balance it out, which means it's much harder to get the scapula to go up. It's not going up, therefore the shoulder, which is attached to it, won't go up nearly as well either. So fix that. Great, that's nice. How you do that? Well, that's entirely up to you, but let's say we fix that because we did, because it wasn't really that hard. But there's some other nerves involved, and there's a few vertebrae involved, which is not today's conversation. In any case, here's the thing. We fix that shoulder, let's say, and the shoulder still won't go up. We fix the scapula, but the shoulder is still affected. So there's something going on with the shoulder itself, that shoulder joint, the real one, not the fake one. In any case, we got to figure that out. The shoulder poses an interesting problem because here's it from the side. There's that greater tubercle again, and there's a scapula around it. Chromian process and clavicle, roughly like that. There's some interesting mechanics here because the shoulder is not as simple as it seems. It's wrapped around. There's a lot of muscles that go to it. That it's not just a simple zigzag left or right. That would be way too easy. Everything's always way too hard in the body, but that's just a pet peeve of mine. Anyways, there's like a supraspinatus muscle coming from the top. There's an infraspinatus coming from the side, and a smaller teres minor that goes along with that guy. Teres major goes around to the front, ... but it comes from the inside. Very tricky of it, but hey, that's okay. We've also got, of course, the pec major coming around this way, and we've even got subscapularis, which is one heck of a muscle if you ask me. Anyways, lastly, and a real important one, is the deltoid. This one's kind of wacky. It does this kind of thing, deltoid in shape, and it attaches very widely, very broadly, thankfully, to the deltoid tuberosity on that humerus. In any case, if you summate these forces, the way it wraps from scapula to humerus, what ends up happening is we have fibers that pull it this way, and we have fibers that pull it this way. And so that means that humeral head, that synovial joint that's right here, is being pressed into the scapula, the glenoid cavity, harder than it should be, because these muscles here were not loose and supple as they should be. They were hard and tense and rigid and contracting and contractured. And when that's the case, we take a bone that should be right here and we make it so it's more like right here, so that when you finally do go to abduct it, this little bit hits this little bit, this greater tubercle hits onto that chromian process, and we lose the ability to abduct the arm.